Right? Soon, everyone will come join our wonderful podcast. Okay, so
Hey, what if a guy like this?
yesterday evening, I was talking about the effects of the First Opium War on the eventual Taiping Rebellion, which began in 1850. What do you know anything about the Taiping Rebellion?
Not really.
Okay,
Oh no!
so the Taiping Rebellion
Sit down.
was a 14-year war
Take a
that
seat.
started in 1850 and in 1864 because a man claimed to be the younger brother of Jesus Christ himself.
gentlemen.
Follow me, man! Follow me! Younger brother, son of Jesus Christ, and the Son of God himself. He had a vision that he was the Son of God after he failed his third imperial exam in 1837.
I got some flash.
He
Let's go, let's go, let's
claims
go,
that
let's
he
go.
was
Kill
brought
them
up
all,
to
kill them
heaven
all. On me, man!
in a vision where he was meant to see God, and apparently, according to him, God wore black dragon robes and had a golden beard.
Wow.
So what happened was God told him that he was furious with him, to which the guy asked, why was my father furious with me? So he tells him that because China is currently being ruled by the Manchus, who were not a Han ethnicity, that China was being corrupted. So what happened was, this guy is like, what can I do to help you out with this? So the guy says, if you kill all the Manchus and make Chinese ruled by the Han again, then I will forgive you, my son. So he's like, after having this vision, decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start a rebellion that's going to kill tens of millions of people. Of course, this rebellion didn't begin until 1850, which was 13 years later, but he was slowly...
Hey, can you shut up with the flute?
The confusion.
Shut up, flute!
Totally ruining the atmosphere.
Come on, bro.
One of the
listening
ways
lecture.
that...
Remember, guys, if you get put in the prison camp,
sorry,
there won't be any
continue.
pizzas.
Oh my god. Alright. So one of the ways that he would try to incite a rebellion was by telling everyone around him that Confucius and the Confucian values, Confucian books, he would have them all burnt. He would teach children that Confucius and the Confucian values that were usually used and was a way for Chinese to enter the bureaucracy and become Qing
Dude, you
officials.
can't be serious.
You can't be
tested.
serious.
Will you leave this man alone, please? I'm actually
One of the
interested.
catalysts for this epiphany that he had
Talking about.
was that
Shut up.
Real shit.
was the fact that he had failed his third imperial exam. You see, if you wanted to become a bureaucrat or a public official in China at this time, you needed to take the civil service exams, which were very, very hard. So hard that
Is he aware of the
some people would
socio-economic
often pay.
repercussions?
In terms of what?
I don't know, I just wanted to
terms of-
include.
Well, you see,
Dude, shut up.
this guy wasn't just any Han Chinese. He was part of a sub-ethnicity called the Hakka, who live in southern
I'm
China.
gonna kill Kim Jong-un.
So that's one of the ways that he would incite rebellion, by claiming that these Hakka, the sub-ethnicity, was being oppressed by the Qing, by the Manchus. Another aspect of this would be the fact that the Han Chinese would have to wear the queues, which was a hairstyle that the Qing would enforce as for the men, in a way, in a sort of allegiance to them.
Fair enough.
Question?
Overall.
Question. Do you know anything about Admiral Yi?
Of what?
About Admiral Yi?
No, I'm not sure. Was he,
Oh.
was he a
Are you saying hot Chinese or Han Chinese?
He
Han?
was on Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, Han. I thought you were saying hot.
Alright.
Oh shit.
You're so hot.
Did you know that Chinese fought against
It must be the
China
accent.
for
Where are you
like
from,
500
mate?
years?
The Qing.
Where are you from?
Wait, what was the question?
Oh, him.
Some admiral.
I'll explain that. The one of the major catalysts for this was that the Qing, who were composed of Manchus, were one of the many foreign groups that would dominate China. You see, the Manchus are not of the Han Chinese. They're entirely
It's the
different
men from yesterday, bro. Ice cream
because
truck.
of this.
Oh my god.
Many Han Chinese had a sentiment that they should not be ruled by non-Han Chinese, but Han Chinese themselves.
It's ice cream truck.
The Qing
again,
Dynasty was officially declared in 1644. So by the time of the Taiping Rebellion, it had been 206 years. You see, another major factor that came into this rebellion was
That's
the
a
fact
long-ass
that
dynasty.
the century of humiliation was a way to describe the 19th century. In comparison, in the 18th century, China saw a significant population growth, and by 1800 would reach a population of about 330 million, which is almost akin to the current United States population. This major population growth was a sign of the advancing technology of the time, and while China had a pretty late industrial revolution compared to the European powers. They still regard the 18th century as a time of prosperity.
Yeah, they were colonized by
Anyways.
Britain.
One way that this guy, who I'm talking about, the founder of the Taiping Rebellion, was exposed to the belief that he was the son of God and the younger brother of Jesus Christ was his encounter with missionaries, Christian missionaries from America and Europe. For one, he was almost about to be baptized prior to his epiphany. When he had his epiphany, he came to the conclusion that the man he encountered was God himself, because it seemed that the Bible, which was translated from English into Chinese, had several misinterpretations as I couldn't literally translate many aspects of it. For example, in English we know God as simply God, but in Chinese, the only way they could translate, they couldn't have a literal translation of God into God in Chinese. So instead of God, they would simply refer to him as High Lord of all.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
That's a good one.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is the Pope good or evil?
The Pope? Well, that's a very complicated question, but
Lawful
as you
neutral.
know, the Catholic domination is
Where's
the
tomato?
largest Christian
Is it bacon?
domination.
The
As a matter
middle
of fact,
or
the
the
United States
middle?
is even the most Catholic nation. The most Catholics
The
are
middle is
actually in
here.
Brazil.
Yo, what's happening here?
Just read.
There are many who believe that the Pope
Yes,
is
talking about the
legit.
translation to
There are many who-
Chinese of the Bible.
There are some who literally believe that the Pope is evil. There are some that believe the Pope is illegitimate. That there is a different line of popes, and that's just amongst many other things. So, if you want my personal opinion, I'm not logical enough overall.
Well, without him, there's no hope, you know, in their country.
I want to pet the bill.
No, without Pope,
Got him.
there's no Pope.
Get shit on. Being
Hey,
Pope.
hey, I have a question. I have a question. Is tomato a fruit or a vegetable? That's my question.
I think it's a
Okay.
fruit.
It's
Okay, you're intelligent person.
It's sweet.
It's a car.
It's a fruit.
It's a fruit, man.
What vegetable is sweet?
Hey, is this a congregation? I think it's
Carrots
a
are sweet.
congregation.
I'll introduce the Taiping Rebellion again.
Congregation.
What's a potato?
The Taiping Rebellion
Tuberculosis.
was triggered
It's our
in
chips.
southern China. As you know, the war, according to many sources, the total death toll is placed at either 20 to 30 million by Western sources, while many sources, such as the Chinese government, place the death toll as high as between 70 to 100 million, which alone would probably make it the bloodiest war in history. One account that I use is the fact that the Chinese would often take censuses or population totals. They wouldn't exactly take the complete population, but it would instead account for the population by the number of households rather than total people.
Oi, oi, leave alone, leave alone! Stop!
In a census taken in 1910,
Hey, let ice cream.
it was shown that
Join the circle, join the circle.
Wait, ice cream truck. Can I just
Stop! Bro, leave the bread alone. He's just trying to listen.
You've been
That's
talking
fine.
about
Idiot.
for like 3 hours.
No, you idiot!
wait, what?
This man is so intolerant. I saw that.
Boo on you, sir. Boo.
You're a racist.
Question? Sorry. I
Why
can't hear it
you've been
properly.
talking about the
I'm sorry,
Taiping Rebellion
proceed.
for like 3 hours. Why are you so interested now?
We are
Because this
talking
map
about
is gay, man. That's the reason.
humiliation.
I have a
This is a history lesson. It's fucking fun.
Oh, I thought
The Napoleonic Wars. It was considered like a world war. Like the war.
What do you know of the Great Leap Forward?
The emancipation, the war of independence to America.
What about it?
Not considered a great or a world war.
Wait, what?
Question.
I said.
He's rock, man. He's rock.
Ay, déjenme, you pussy.
Repeat it. We can't.
My question is stop. My question is it will be the Napoleonic Wars considered as a world war?
No.
Oh, if you would consider the
Continental.
Napoleonic Wars to be a world war? Is that, that's
No,
what you're
Continental
asking?
War.
So mad. Who's mad?
Well, to answer your question,
Because
there
not
are...
only Europe was in war.
Europe sucks.
It's basically English versus French.
America was in war with all the European
Yes, and
countries for the independence.
Well, actually, America was at war with the UK alone. There were the Dutch, the
Yeah.
Dutch,
The
the
UK,
French are actually
the South
privately
Americans,
But
supplying.
America's a continent.
Fine.
The South
Yep.
American
America is a country.
Wars of Independence.
I will name it all.
The South American Wars of Independence were, in my opinion, a direct cause of or direct effect of the Napoleonic Wars. As you know, like many...
Yeah, Texas used to be Mexican, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Was for a little bit.
Technically,
Long
yes.
ass time ago.
You see, it's funny that many of these South American revolutionaries were pretty much inspired by Napoleon himself. Like, as you know, there were various nations that were set up, like that have changed obviously in the past 200 years. But did you know that when Mexico was first independent, it was called the Mexican Empire, not just like a Mexican Republic. They were essentially styling themselves like Napoleon,
Oh yeah, we didn't
since
hear
many
that.
of the revolutionaries were ones that were inspired
Yeah.
by Napoleon and the French Revolution.
You're right. In the case of
Many of-
Argentina, it was the fact that we have the two English invasions, and with the fall of
Sorry about that.
Junta de Sevilla, the Argentina were pissed off, and they don't want the other country to conquer these lands. So the action of Napoleon take the idea to the countrymen to get the independence from Spain.
Who'd have thought a little short guy could be so historic?
Since
What?
One guy. So short. So historic.
Yep.
Wasn't he like 5'7" or something? Not even that.
5'4".
technically he was of like average height at the time.
Yeah, and everybody still call him short for some reason. Jesus.
I'm pretty sure he was 5'4".
Propaganda.
The only reason why that they would portray him to be short was because he would always be surrounded by the Imperial Guard, who had to be 6 feet tall.
Hey.
I think it's
And they were
because
all
of that
veteran
one
soldiers.
painting where
I did not know that.
he was bigger than a horse.
Was that a small ass horse, a pony?
No, it was actually a normal horse.
you say
They
that
just
guy was
drew him
bigger than a
bigger than a
horse?
horse. That's how messed up it was.
Wasn't
Yeah, it's all
you mean
ego
in the
and
painting
pride.
that depicts him climbing the Alps?
I don't
The
remember.
Alps mount?
It's the
Get
only
your
one
head out my
where
crotch, sir.
everybody keeps making fun of it.
You see, ironically,
Google says he was 5'6".
in one source I was reading about Napoleon, when he was participating in the 1796 campaign in Italy, it was not a horse that he was riding upon, but it was actually just a random mule. Of course, many artistic depictions of Napoleon would actually be made off of people who were just random sources, like, for example, portraits that would be made of Napoleon in like the late 1790s were not actually based off of their literal like having cited him. They would have just make a random rendition.
We got fucked up, Joe.
Random what? Random what? Random what?
That's pretty
A
hard to
written
do.
description of him.
Could kill us all.
Random what?
It's fine, it's fine. They won't touch us.
A random what, dude? I couldn't listen.
I heard
Let's go to a tower.
He had his,
Because mule
too much
rocks,
of a
man.
circle.
Mules is fucking rocks. Are better than horses. Horses are
Let's
for
go to a
speed,
tower and hide.
but mules are average in everything. And good.
What do you
I
think
agree.
about Napoleon messing with the Russian Empire?
Napoleon.
Fuck,
Well, Napoleon was basically, in my opinion, the first general to realize the practice of scorched earth. I don't think there's ever been a time before the 1812 invasion of Russia that saw the tactics that Alexander used, like basically just burning away, withdrawing over and over again. Napoleon literally believed that taking Moscow would signal the end of the war. He expected that Alexander would greet him and agree to, alright, this is gonna end.
I think he just
Yeah.
didn't realize how
Excellent
big
teacher
Russia
there.
was.
Yeah, are you gonna be in the... Okay.